Hi. Hi. Not sure what's happening with my voice today, but let's see if a little water will fix it. Thank you for being patient with me there. So, this has happened to me more than once. And I don't know, maybe it's happened to you too. But I'll be talking to two or three people, and I'll think we've all come to an agreement, only to find out later that one of them is angry with me and upset about how I've handled the situation. Excuse me. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to take your children to a movie. Your 10-year-old wants to see the latest horror flick, but you know that your 7-year-old is going to have nightmares for days. You want to take them to a G-rated movie. Your teenager has a fit about it, sulks for several minutes, but seems to come around. You set some parameters. You ask each child for their input, for some recommendations on what they'd like to see within those parameters. You talk it out. You seem to have come to a consensus on what you're going to go see. At least you've come to an agreement. All the kids participated, except the 7-year-old was a little bit quiet. But you've made an agreement. You go to the movie. You have some fun. Afterward, you notice the two older ones are teasing the younger one about how she always seems to get her way. You always go to a movie that she likes. And all of a sudden she gets angry. She blows up. She says, I didn't want to see that movie anyway. Nobody asked me. Nobody ever asks what I want. Wow. You were doing something nice for the kids, and now you've got a fight on your hands. Yep. Terry says, yep. We've all been there. So you think back and you go, wait a minute. I asked each one of them for input. We all agreed on this, didn't we? I mean, yeah, maybe you picked a movie that was geared more toward younger kids because you wanted to make sure that one was included, the younger one was included. But then you remember the younger one was pretty quiet and didn't really give much input. Let's try another example. And this one happens a lot in my field, whether you're a physician, a nurse practitioner, a PA, or even a nurse. But from my standpoint, I'll be talking with a family about treatment decisions for their child. And inevitably, one parent is more talkative than the other, always. And if I'm not careful, the talkative parent can completely bulldoze right over the quieter parent. So I make a point to always draw out the quieter parent, make sure their concerns are voiced and their questions are answered. And some days I put an awful lot of time and effort into it. But it's not unusual for me to come back the next day and find out that the talkative parent thinks I walk on water, while the quieter parent thinks that, well, I'm a horrible physician, the worst doctor they've ever met, that I don't listen, and I just don't care, no matter how much time or energy I put into the situation. So how does that happen, and what can we do about it? It happens because of personality science, and I talked about that in one of my recent videos. When your personality code is the same as someone else's personality code, you tend to speak in the same code, and you tend to speak in a way that builds relationships and builds trust, and that's fantastic. But when you're in a dissimilar code or an opposite code, you tend to speak in a way that breaks down trust and breaks down relationships. But you can actually learn how to get around that. So yes, there is a way to get around that. And one of those ways is to take these 4 cards, what we call bank cards, and you can use these to crack someone's personality code, their bank code, in under 90 seconds. And once you know their bank code, you know what code in which to speak to them. Now, The code isn't a secret, but there is a certain amount of science to it, and a system. So if you want to learn more about that system, there are ways you can go about that. One of those ways is to reach out to me and set up a consultation. I have my calendar link posted at both my Twitter profile and my LinkedIn profile. And at LinkedIn, it's in the About section. Or you can just reach out to me and ask. Another way would be to join one of our virtual happy hours. We have those every other Monday night. They're not every Monday night because of work commitments, but every other Monday night. And those are also free. I post those in all of my social media, and there will be an Eventbrite link in there. And go to the Eventbrite link and register, and we'll send you a Zoom link for you to join the happy hour. And we'll talk more about this and how it can help you in your individual situation. And everybody's situation is different, but it can help you in your situation. But keep in mind, these things are only for those people who want to improve their communications and improve their relationships. And like I said, if you found any value to this video, please go ahead and share it. And most of all, enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you again next week.